Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Now, as many of you know, English is a super idiomatic language. And for English learners, this can sometimes be very confusing because Americans especially love to put together a bunch of random words and create an entirely new expression. So today, we're going to be learning 20 idioms that Americans use to talk about making mistakes, or more seriously, committing a crime, admitting your mistakes, and punishments. All right, let's get started. Okay, so before we get started, I want to pause and encourage you to grab a notebook and a pen. So as you're watching this video, you are visually seeing me, you're hearing my audio, but it's super important for comprehension, memory retention, that we take notes. So I really encourage you guys to take notes as you watch this video and comment down below and let me know if you took notes, okay? I love reading those comments and I want to know that the people watching my videos are taking notes because I promise you it will help you with your language journey. Okay, so let's get started. The first category of idioms that we're going to focus on are all about making mistakes. Now, these idioms, along with the rest of the ones in this video, can be used in formal situations like talking about crime and punishment, but also more informal situations like talking about a mistake you made at work or a mistake you made in front of your mom, for example. Okay, so the first idiom is to screw up. For example, oh my God, I totally screwed up and I forgot that I have an exam today. So, right. So to screw up really means to make a big mistake. I totally screwed up, you screwed up, she screwed up. Now, the second idiom is to slip up or a slip up. For example, I slipped up and I forgot to get eggs at the grocery store again. Oh my God, right? So when I slip up, it's a more of a careless mistake. It's not so serious. It's not a screw up. A screw up is much more serious. The third idiom in this category is a lapse of judgment. For example, I had a meeting with my boss this morning and the meeting was at 6 a.m. And last night I was so tired that I completely forgot to set my alarm and I was late to the meeting. So for me, this was a complete lapse of judgment. I never forget to set my alarm. So a lapse of judgment is really to talk about mistakes that we just never ever make. It is so rare, so uncommon that we would make this mistake. The fourth idiom is to see the error of someone's ways. For example, you have a fight with your friend and you go home and you think about that fight and you realize that you were wrong, right? So you see the error of your ways and you want to apologize to your friend. So when someone sees the error of their ways, it just means that they can recognize the mistakes that they've made. The fifth idiom is a little bit more serious, but still very useful, and it's to cover someone's tracks. Now, if we're talking about a more formal subject like crime and punishment, this literally means to hide the evidence. For example, a murderer will cover his tracks by getting rid of the weapon, getting rid of the body, cleaning up the blood, etc. But for us regular humans that don't murder people, to cover your tracks means to just get rid of the evidence of any wrongdoing, anything that you think is bad that you did. And it can be as simple as you cover your tracks by throwing away all of your junk food wrappers so that your parents don't find them and yell at you about eating in your room, right? So you cover your tracks by throwing the wrappers away at school. The sixth idiom in this category is to do something by the book. Now, if you do something by the book, it just means that you follow the rules and procedures on how to do that thing. For example, it's very common that in corporate offices, you have to do things by the book, right? You have to follow the rules they already have, follow the procedures they already have, listen to the boss, report to this person, fill out this form, etc. You have to do things by the book. The last idiom in this category is to have a run-in with the law, with the authorities, with the principal, etc. So in a more formal situation, I can say, oh, I had a run-in with the law yesterday, or I had a run-in with a cop and he pulled me over for not using my turn signal while I was driving. Common. I think most of us will probably have a run-in with the law at some point in our lives. But let's say that you are at work and you're trying to avoid your boss because you totally screwed up on the presentation yesterday, but you had a run-in with him during lunch, right? So this just means that you had a moment of confrontation with someone in authority. So the next category we have is all about admitting the mistake or confessing the crime. So I'm going to use an example throughout this category that I'm going to come back to, and the example is this. Let's pretend that you have a brother and you and your brother are tossing a baseball around, right? You're throwing this ball back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you throw the ball and it breaks the window. And mom is coming home in any second. The first idiom is to fess up, right? So you and your brother both agree that neither of you are going to fess up and tell mom who broke the window. So to fess up just means to admit your mistake or your crime, right? You and your brother are not going to fess up. The second idiom in this category is to come clean. So, you know, your mom comes home, you didn't fess up, but she's super angry about this broken window. And you feel really guilty because you know that mom doesn't have any money to fix this window. So you want to come clean, right? So when you come clean, it means that you feel so guilty about what you did that you confess the truth, you reveal the truth. So you felt so bad about breaking the window that you come clean to your mom. Now, the third idiom in this category is to snitch on someone. It's similar to the next idiom, which is to rat someone out. So before your mom come home, you told your brother, you better not snitch on me. You better not rat me out to mom. So what you're basically telling your brother is, don't snitch on me, don't rat me out. It means do not tell mom about the bad thing that I did. So when we snitch on someone or we rat them out, it means that we tell someone who can punish them about the bad thing that they did, right? We don't like snitches. We don't snitch. We don't rat people out. The next idiom in this category is to turn oneself in. Now, again, you came clean to your mom, and it's similar to turning yourself in. So you turned yourself in because you felt so guilty and you came clean. So to turn oneself in, it means that you admit your crime or your mistake and you are ready to receive the punishment. The next one in this category is to be caught in the act. Now, lucky for you, nobody caught you in the act of breaking the window. It was just you and your brother and no one else saw it. So to be caught in the act, it means that someone sees you committing the crime or somebody sees you doing the bad thing. The last idiom in this category is to face the music. So you face the music. You turned yourself in, you came clean to your mom, you fessed up, right? You face the music, and it just means that you are ready to receive the consequences for your actions. All right, guys, I hope that we've been taking really good notes. If this video is too fast for you, feel free to slow it down. So YouTube allows you to slow down videos, and I highly encourage you to slow it down, pause, rewind, whatever you need to do to make sure that you are taking really awesome notes so that you can come back to them and study them and really become familiar with how to use these idioms, but most importantly, understanding these idioms when they are used. So our last category is punishment. Idioms to talk about punishment. Now, for this category, I'm going to use the example of the American judicial system, right? The law system in the United States. And it's very similar to other law systems around the world. The first idiom in this category is to get off scot-free. Now, it's so common and very sad that we often see criminals get off scot-free and receive no punishment for what they did. Even if it's really obvious that they are bad, even if it's really obvious that they are guilty, there is evidence, sometimes people get off scot-free. And this means they receive no punishment for what they did. Now, again, even as kids, sometimes we got off scot-free, right? I pushed my friend and there was no consequences. So it's not just in our court system. The second idiom is to get a slap on the wrist. So my wrist, a slap. So if we're talking about punishment, to get a slap on the wrist means that you receive very small punishment for a crime. For example, if you hit someone and they go to the hospital, but the judge only gives you 2 weeks of community service, you got a slap on the wrist, right? If you broke the window while playing with your brother, but your mom only took away your cell phone for 1 week, you got a slap on the wrist. Our third idiom in this category is to crack down on something. For example, cops want to crack down on crime, teachers want to crack down on cell phone use in the classroom, parents want to crack down on how much television their kids watch. So this just means to reduce a behavior or action, right? So to crack down on something means that I want to stop a particular behavior or activity. The fourth idiom in this category is to lawyer up. Now, to lawyer up means that you get a lawyer to help you fight in court. The second to last idiom in this entire video about punishment is to not have a leg to stand on. Now, this just means that you don't have enough evidence to support your argument. For lawyers, if your lawyer doesn't have a leg to stand on, it means you're going to lose. They don't have enough evidence to prove that you are correct or that you are innocent. In everyday life, if you don't have a leg to stand on, it just means that you don't have enough support for your argument. Maybe you're arguing with your friend about why chocolate ice cream is better than vanilla ice cream, but you stop having reasons. You can't think of any more reasons for why chocolate is better than vanilla. Your friend can tell you, you lose, you don't have a leg to stand on. And the last idiom to talk about punishment is the jury is out. Now, in real court, this means that the jury, in the American court system, we have 12 people that decide if someone is guilty or not guilty. It means that they are still making a decision. The jury is still talking. They haven't reached a decision yet. In more informal language, it means to talk about something that hasn't been decided on. For example, maybe you and your friends are deciding where to go get dinner. And your friend comes into the group and she says, well, where are we going? And you say, the jury is out. We haven't decided yet. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. That brings us to the end of our video. Right? So we just learned 20 new idioms. This this is a lot. This is a lot of new vocabulary. And in order to help you guys study, I have provided the link to the Quizlet down below. Now, if you don't know what Quizlet is, it's a super awesome vocabulary app. I use it with my students here in Poland. It's how they revise all of their vocabulary. And I really like Quizlet because one, it allows me to add audio pronunciation, photos to illustrate my vocabulary a little bit more. And most importantly, they have really interesting ways of revising. Download the app if you don't have it. You can use it on your desktop or your smartphone, and click on the link below so that you can add this set to your Quizlet. All right, so if you like this video, guys, please remember to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know if you're using Quizlet. Let me know what you thought about this video. Let me know if you were taking notes. Give me more examples on how to use these idioms. And most importantly, let me know of any ideas that you guys have of videos that you want to see. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.